And we are live. Hi. Hello, everyone. I am today here with Derek Hughes, and I'm so excited because we are going to talk about how to monetize our newsletters with digital products. Welcome, Derek.
Hi, Yana. Really good to meet you. This is the first time we've spoken in the flesh, as it were, hasn't it? I remember coming across you on Medium in the past and then
Yeah.
seeing you on Substack. And it's
Yeah.
good when you kind of follow another writer or creator for a while and then eventually your paths cross and you
Yes.
can have a conversation. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'm so excited. Of course, I also followed you on Medium. You are doing amazing stuff there, actually, at some point. I don't know how it is right now, but
Yeah. No, we don't talk about Medium anymore.
okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, Medium, it launched my writing really and taught me a lot about how to write, how to engage an audience, but it went too successful and they've kind of shadow banned me or something. But so I'm all in on Substack now.
Right. Yeah. No, you were really good. I remember you were making about 1,000, 2,000 something per month out of
And then
Medium.
it was good times.
Yeah.
But
No, this
it's
was
changed.
during the times where everybody was complaining already, and you were kind of figuring it out. But yeah, I think maybe they just tend to try to distribute the earnings more equally across most of the writers, so they can do that sometimes. But yeah, we are not here to talk about Medium in any way today.
Yeah.
Today we talk about digital products, and we want to discuss a little bit more because I think it's a lot of at least a lot of from my people from my audience are really interested into this topic and really want to know more about how they can monetize their newsletters with digital products, especially on Substack.
Yeah.
And since we have both experiences with this thing,
Yeah.
I think it will
Yeah.
be really interesting.
I mean, it's interesting with the whole Medium thing because I was depending on a platform, and then overnight that kind of money went. But thankfully, I started to have this stream of digital products I would create and selling, so that kind of saved me really, and that's how you kind of get control of it, isn't it? And you're kind of responsible just dealing with your audience direct. So I think it's a great topic to talk about, and I keep coming across people who are not sure how to start or what to do. So I love kind of just talking about it and trying to help other people on that journey because there's so much, there's so much people can do and so many different topics you can use for it. So yeah, really excited to talk to you about it.
Yeah, definitely. But when we talk about digital products, what types of products have you had already?
Well, I mean, so I'm getting a bit more strategic now, but like over the last 12 months, I've just been like making it up as I go along. So like, I mean, you've got quite a marketing background, but I haven't got any of that. So I just like, I have an idea and I was like, well, what's the worst that could happen? Let's just like try it out. That's been my digital strategy really. So I've done video courses. That was the first thing I did, recorded a video course, and I've done email courses written. And then, but I've also done like I've got a resource bank, which is a list of like templates and resources that's actually my best seller. It was my easiest one to make because I remember sitting in the garden one day and I was thinking about what to do next. And I remember thinking I had like all these things on my computer that I developed, all, like outlines and templates and all that I'd used to grow on Medium. And then I was like, I wonder if like anybody else wants this because this makes my life so much easier. And so I just put it up and made it for sale and everyone kind of grabbed it really. So I've kind of experimented with all sorts of stuff, and I run a monthly workshop as well. So I record that and then I sell recordings of that to people as well, which is a slightly different angle I've gone down. So I've had to go pretty much everything, I think.
Maybe I think also you have books as well, right?
I've written a chapter in 10K Secrets.
Yeah, this one, yes. I remember.
So I've done that, but I haven't made any of my own books. No, you can, I mean, I think that, ebooks are not, they're a way to make a very small amount of money, but I think if you put that knowledge into other formats, you can
Yeah,
really charge a lot more and make a lot more money from it. So I've never really done the
yeah,
ebook thing really.
not really. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have tried, but I think there is a different perception about what exactly is a book, because some people consider a book something which you write and it's something huge, about 200, 300 pages,
Mm.
and that's
Yeah.
something that I haven't tried as well.
No.
But I do have books of about 50 pages, like,
Right.
and they're more like guides, and I put them on Amazon. Not really too much into it, but I think there is a huge potential with this, especially with newsletters. And there's I think a lot of people on Substack are also interested about how to market and sell their books on Substack.
Yeah.
So that is something that I also would like to explore more. For now, I have tested; it works. But with Amazon, you have to promote, and you have to have a clear strategy how to drive traffic to
Mm.
your book page. Otherwise, it's very difficult to get into the algorithm unless you are very good in optimization
Yeah.
for Amazon search engine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I tend to take I sell mine through the Kit newsletter. So I get Substack in terms of build my audience, and then through Kit, I use all their different tools in order to sell my stuff. But I tend to just to sell it to my email list. I've not tried the Amazon or anything like that.
Yeah,
It finds, yeah, I mean, I've kind of experimented a lot, but I mean, these days I feel more confident with what I'm doing, because I've got more of a framework and a system. So I know now when I create a new product, I know like how to do that and what system to follow to make a
yeah.
decent amount of money. But that's come from, yeah, experience. I'm kind of sticking to what I know at the moment and just kind of running that really.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's really a model how to monetize your book, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Um,
By the way, I hear some kind of microphone. The microphone is sounding a bit of weird. I don't know.
yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah, I've just changed my microphone. Was it mine that was crackling?
Yeah, maybe I think so. But now it's much better.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
No, now it's much
Um,
better. So yeah,
yeah.
it's a pretty straightforward method to sell your books to directly to your audience, to your email list, basically, and it works really well. And you could also automate this and build a sequence to so that you don't have to do it manually with your subscribers. So yeah, definitely, that's something that I would like to explore in the future. But what about courses?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love putting courses together. I love taking people on a journey, and I mean, my experience is people try and make courses too big and too complicated, and they think they need like some big, massive thing. But
Yeah,
like, it's quite hard for people to implement the things they're learning, and you just need something quite focused for people. So my very first course was a headline toolkit, and all it was about crafting headlines that get clicks,
yeah,
and like was a course with lots of backup and resources. I think a lot of people have like knowledge of processes and how to do things, and they could turn that into courses. And people don't want 27 videos that are an hour long. They want something where you've like maybe spend a lot of hours. I spend hundreds of hours trying to work out how to write headlines. And then if you can digest that into something very manageable so someone can take it away, and in watching, I mean, my headline toolkit's probably like 7 videos, less than 10 minutes each, so it's very bite sized. And you've kind
yeah.
of got all that time that you've invested, and then you make it digestible for somebody else, and they pay for the speed and that sort of stuff. I remember creating that one, my first one, and my wife was kind of, "What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? Who's going to buy this off you?" And I had lots of self doubt myself, but I think
Yeah.
you conquer self doubt by just doing it and seeing what happens, and then
Yeah,
but you realize actually people want shortcuts, and they want like your process or whatever it is you've learned to do. If you can kind of offer to them in a very manageable size, then that's like what people want. And there's so many people who will be watching this and will have achieved that in all sorts of like areas. I mean, we do writing and audience growth, but applies to relationships and money and health and all sorts of things, doesn't it? All sorts of things people want to know how to do stuff and want somebody with experience who has achieved it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think we are privileged with our newsletters, especially when it comes to create courses. And I think people are really overthinking it too much about how to start, what idea to come up with, and things like that. But I actually, uh, because I also built some courses, but I built them only after I used my paid newsletter to paywall some tools and some even some content on some topics, and then I see what resonates and what was actually converting, and then I decided to build on top of it a course about it, and that my first course, and it's really a mini course. It's 3 hours. It's not something huge, and it's solving just one simple problem. It's about notes, and I decided to do it because I saw a lot of people who already have a lot of interest in it, especially how to go viral on notes and um, how to write notes. And I built my custom GPT, train it with some viral notes, and it produces really good results. And I decided to put it in a course, and that was already kind of a validated idea, because when I launched my course, immediately after publishing, I got my first sale even without promoting it. So our newsletters are, especially if you have a paid newsletter, is a really good way to test concepts and ideas.
Yeah, I use nearly every day. I use one of your chat prompts.
Yeah, yes.
I was just like, I don't know what's behind this custom prompt, but it's like really helpful. So
Yes, thank you.
grateful. But like, I'm using it, and I'm like, I'm so grateful that you've created that. Do you know what I mean? Because that like helps me and save up time. And even though in theory, I could learn how to do it and I could do the research and all that sort of stuff, but that's like so much hours where I could just like use yours, and mine probably wouldn't be very good. And people are willing to, pay for those kind of shortcuts.
Yeah,
But I think
yes,
your thing around using your free content to kind of test out what people want and test out what you've got to offer that kind of resonates and connects, that's like your foundation,
yeah,
to give you that confidence and that knowledge, and rather than just jumping into something straight away, but that's how you kind of explore it, isn't it? And then what is really going to connect. That's how I've built a lot of my courses. It's the content that's done the best in the free world, because you think actually that's what people want, that really helps them, and you've
yeah,
kind of, this framework or this idea has helped me, and then you share it, and then if it doesn't resonate, then you go back to the start. But when it does, you've got that the kind of way that you've kind of checked it out without without paying any money. Whereas like in normal marketing, people have got to kind of create products and build a factory and test it out and go into the
yeah,
streets and taste it. They've got to like invest a lot of money up front, whereas we just get it to do it for free. It's
yeah.
such an incredible advantage that we have.
Exactly, and I think and that's also something, an approach that we are using in my 9 to 5 job, because I'm also developing products and selling products on subscription, not so much digital products, very very real products sometimes, and services. But yeah, the best product would be not the one that you start ideating about and thinking about and designing by yourself, but the product that comes out of your conversations with your customers, because that's where reality is. And we have these initiatives also in my job to go and talk to the people, actually to the field, on the sales field, and talk to real clients and see what are their pains and their frustrations, and then try to fix them and solve them with your product. And that's something that really resonates.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of stumbled into this, not having kind of a marketing background. But when I've started like reading about marketing and business, it's only then I've kind of realized what like an opportunity that we have, because we've got contact with all our customers and
Yeah,
potential customers. You can test it for free, and then even
exactly.
when you build the product, probably like 95% of your sales, you go direct to you, because your costs are so small on there with a little bit of software or something like that, and if it fails, you've lost hardly any money, just a bit of time. Whereas in a lot of business marketing world, they've got to like create stuff and take a risk with lots of upfront costs. But in the online world with digital products, you've got hardly anything
Exactly.
because there's hardly any upfront costs,
Yeah.
which is,
Yeah.
yeah,
The-
I think people don't always realize how much of an opportunity it is really, and your Nike and your Coca Colas, they'd love to have that free opportunity or a hardly anything cost to sell. If they were getting a 95% of their money,
yeah.
they'd be very
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. Companies would kill to have that kind of a profit margins out of digital products. That's very hard to achieve. I think we in the digital products we could reach even 90, if not 100%, if you're not investing in anything or paying for anything to create.
Yeah,
Because you basically invest on only your time,
yeah,
which is also of course a resource, and you can put a valuation on that as well, but other than that, it's basically
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much. Definitely. Right. I wanted to also ask you, so you have also some free stuff, right? Free products, like freebies.
Yeah, loads of freebies, and
Yeah.
so I have I have a long form. I have a few courses that are free. So I've got long form mastery,
Yeah.
about creating a long form post, which is an email course, and I've got a notes playbook, which is 14 templates, which is a
Yeah.
free course as well. So yeah, you do free stuff to kind of help people out and to build trust and to get people to invest in your newsletter as well.
Yeah.
And for some people who are new, sometimes that's the best way to start, isn't it? To do a free
Yeah.
product, a free course, because that can build your audience and get people onto your list, and
Yeah.
then get feedback from people. Maybe use a tool like Senju, which I use, and then you can get people's testimonials, which then you can add to your site, which then like builds your confidence, and you've learned how to set up a course or something like that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that can be a big win to do that as well.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah. They're also a great way to test new products and new ideas to see just
Yeah.
what resonates. And then if you have a successful freebie, then it's definitely a signal that you can expand it to a full-fledged digital product. And that's really, really amazing. And by the way, I see, so I don't know how it is on your side, Derek. I see just one viewer on my side during the live, but actually, I just opened Substack on another device, and I see we have 959 viewers already. So I would also suggest. So if you have any questions, please write in the chat so that we can answer with Derek. We would love to have some questions on the digital products that we are selling. I hope we see the questions. I don't know what froze here, but I don't also see any interactions. Do you see on your side, Derek?
Yeah, I can see lots of people.
Okay.
Therapist
So it's
asking
only
what's
on
the
my
best,
side then. Okay.
okay, what's the best platform? Oh, it's just moved. I think somebody said what's the best platform to host a video course? And so I host all mine on Thrivecart. I think Thrivecart is the best resource to use. It's much more affordable than some of the others like Thinkable and Terrific, and you only pay a one-off cost, so you're not paying like subscriptions on and on. And so yeah, I host my stuff on there, so you can use affiliates and use video courses, and it's where I host my templates as well, and got landing pages. So I think that I mean you do have to pay for it, but
Yeah.
compared to the others, it's really affordable. So that's kind of what I would suggest for people who want to do video stuff.
Yeah, many people are using Thrivecart. I haven't tried it to be honest,
Yeah,
not it exact specifically Thrivecart, but I have evaluated and I have looked into Gumroad and Teachable and also Circle. And also Substack, by the way, so you could upload courses on Substack as well.
yeah,
It's just Substack is not really. I have my courses on Substack as a version for my paid subscribers, basically. But it's not really the user experience is not really great because you don't have this previous next, and then you don't have this indication whether you have watched this video or not. and things like that, and then to what extent have you finished and so on. So I have chosen. So you could use Gumroad for it's free basically. Yes, it takes 10%, of course, from your sales, but it's a good alternative. It does have these features, and it also has a mobile app, so you can open there as a customer who buys your course, so they can open in the app and watch the videos and so on. Still, it's not very. There is no autoplay for the next video, which is something that I don't. So I'm obsessed with user experience. It's just maybe it's my maybe downside from my 9 to 5 job, but I really want my customers to have really good user experience. So I chose Teachable because it also has an app, and for me it has for now the best user experience. But with DriveCard, I haven't really tested it. I see that it's very similar as a user experience for like Teachable, more or less.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a bit cheap probably, but I mean, once you're getting at that sort of level and paying the money, you're getting a good service. It's like when people say, should I use Beehive or Kit or whatever, it's kind of, once you get to that level, the features are very similar, and you just need to check the price perhaps and what kind of fits with. Someone was asking about Kit actually. Do I host ever any stuff on Kit? So Kit only has a very simple landing page for selling stuff. So I do sell my workshops on Kit, just as a one-off video. But for anything a bit more substantial, I use ThriveCart for that. Yeah, we have a landing page, but it's very simple and it's very limited, I think.
Yeah. So I use Kit for one-time digital downloads, like for example PDF files. So whatever you can put in the PDF files, Kit is really amazing for that. I also use Kit for my email courses. It's something that, because it's automated through Kit and it works really, really well. But other than that, for courses, I wouldn't go with Kit in any way. It's just not good experience. Maybe if it is just one video of maybe, but other than that, it's not.
Yeah. Same for me. Email courses and one-off videos I sell on Kit. Jeffrey's asking how often we come up with new digital products.
Well, great question. Great question. As often as you can. No, no, joking. I don't know. I mean, I think I have seen many creators doing different stuff. I think it's you have to figure out a schedule which fits to your daily workflow and your workload as well. Because for me, as somebody who has also a 9 to 5 job and does this on the side, it would be very difficult to create one product every month, for example. But I see some people doing that. And it works for them really well because they're basically launching every month something new, and they're selling something new every month to their audience, and they're making really good money out of it. For me, it's not really feasible, but and I also see other creators who are launching something once every 3 months. But then it's a big launch with a launch event and with some network promotions, and sometimes even with paid advertising, external advertising. So it depends, because if your launch and sales period is something that would be for 2 weeks or one month, maybe is too long, then you cannot really. You cannot launch something every month, basically. It would be.
I mean, I have a mixture. I probably launch a big product every couple of months, which has the sales push that we're talking about. But because I have my founding members on Substack, I do a live workshop for them every month, and I do sell tickets to that on my Kit. But that would only get a couple of emails in the week before it, so that's quite a small thing to promote. Whereas my products, which are making me like thousands, I would do that probably every 2 months. I might launch one of them, which, as you say, probably takes 3 weeks of emails and build up and a lot of sales push. And it's important if you want to make money, you need to put that kind of marketing and communication around it. I had someone speaking to me the other day, and they had, invested a lot of money in creating a course, and it hadn't worked at all. And then you pull it apart, and the advice and training she got was how to create the course, and that was all she got. And so she created it, and then it just sat there. And it was just like, so I was coaching her, and I was like heartbroken for her that someone had told her just to create the course, and then you put it out there. Whereas actually, I'm launching a live cohort next month about creating products, and half of the steps are around the selling and how communicating it, and half of it is around creating the product, because you need to give that much time and attention to it, really. You can't just create something and then sit it on the shelf and wait for people to come knocking, because nobody will come knocking, will they?
Exactly. Yeah, and thank you for saying that, because especially I see some people do that, especially new people who are maybe selling for the first time. So they build a new product and take really the time to make it like kind of, perfect. And then they publish it and send just one email, and that's it. And then they wait for something to happen, but it doesn't happen. Actually, you have to have you have to put the effort to promote and sell that product. Otherwise, it's just not happening. And with email lists, I would build a sequence with at least, I don't know, I would go with at least 10 emails, for example, because people really need more information. Especially, it depends on the price, but especially if it is somewhere around the middle ticket for about, I don't know, $200 or $300 or something like that, then you really need to explain and educate and share as much information as possible, and put the effort also to convince people to make that action to buy, because it's not really it's not so much an emotional sale. You have to really make it valuable and touch those triggers that people would make them buy. And that this doesn't happen with just one email, unfortunately.
No, I mean, even if you think about the process of you buying something, if you decide I'm going to get a new phone, or I'm going to get a new device, or a new pair of trainers or something, there's usually a bit of a process of, yes, I am going to get that, but then you maybe put it off, and then you go into the shop and you're like, yeah, do I really want that pair and whatever? And you can, I mean, maybe not, maybe people just spend, but usually there's like this process to it, and you often put it off. Whereas if you're in the shop and you're thinking about it, and then someone comes along and says, oh, by the way, did you realize that these trainers had this feature and you didn't realize? Or they said, actually, we've got a little discount on today, did you know that? Or it just kind of gets you over the line, because we are naturally hesitant, and so you just need to keep telling people and sharing about it. And I was quite hesitant to do that on my first launch, because I felt it was too pushy and that. And I would just send a few emails about it. And then I remember reading some of Nicholas Cole's stuff about it. And he was basically saying, every time you send a new email about your project, you'll make some more sales. So why wouldn't you send more emails,
Exactly.
And and sometimes I might like send 7 emails about my product. And like on the 7th email, somebody buys. And I'm like, I've just emailed you 6 times about it. Why have you bought on the 7th? But like, we are just slow, or we're just processing, or we're just not sure, or we're just busy, and so you do need like a whole sales strategy of just how you're going to clearly communicate and the benefits and all that sort of stuff. And I know that was a big vertical curve for me, because I knew nothing about it. I thought if I had a few followers, when I offer something, they're all going to buy it, but it's not, that doesn't happen at all, does it?
Exactly. And also, I also read from Nicholas, so he's sharing publicly basically their 20-day email sequence, 10 days for education and 10 days for, I believe, sales. And it's really a good sequence and a good example how to educate. And Nicholas says that people miss they if they don't buy, it's not because of the price. It's usually because they don't have enough information to make that decision. So those emails have to solve this problem. So it's not, if you're not selling, just don't do promotions. Figure out what's the problem. That's
that's right. And you can even use your free content to kind of lay the foundations for that. So I write about all sorts of things on my Substack, but at the moment, I'm just starting to lean. I'm focusing much more on like digital products and how to make money, because I've got a launch coming up, and so that's just laying the foundation. But once the launch is finished in a few weeks, then I might talk about writing, or I'll talk about storytelling, or something else. So you can use the free content to just whet people's appetite and getting them thinking and believing as well. Sometimes you've got to change people's mindset, haven't you? The change is possible. Whatever it is you're writing about, because so many people maybe have failed before, whether they've had a resolution to do this or try to change, and you've got to, not just tell them what your product do, but maybe change people's mindset through how you write and what you share with them.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to also ask you, as for strategy wise, what do you suggest? Do you run a paid newsletter and also combine it with digital products, or you think that running a free newsletter and then monetizing only with digital products would be better? Because there is on Substack, there is I have my opinion as well, and I'm going to share it. But on Substack, I see so many polarized opinions. Some people are more for the free newsletter, and then you monetize with other things like digital products and services, of course. And then other people tend to stay with the paid newsletters and don't really do anything on top of that. I am sometimes maybe in the middle, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I was doing digital products before I come to Substack, and they have done really well at making a lot of money. So I start from the point of view that I think digital products is the easiest and fastest way to make a lot of money for the effort, really. So I'm in favor of that. And then I came on Substack, and there was like the paid newsletter, and it was like, what's this all about? And I've kind of experimented with that a little bit, and did pretty badly, really, for quite a long time. And I was just like, oh, I'm not sure what am I doing here. And then I've switched very recently. I mean, my paid subs has gone up quite dramatically this month because I've switched what I've done, and really I've turned my, so on my free subscribers get information from me. They get how-tos and the tips and the mindset and all that sort of stuff. But my paid subs, they just got tools from me now, so they just every week get a tool that they can use. So it's the information to my free, and then the tools that people can use to my paid. So that's just a very recent shift I've made. So that's made it clear in my head, and my paid subs have gone up quite a lot because they get something every week that they can use. And really, if you took all those tools together, that's effectively a digital product. I'm just spreading it out, really. Learning to think digital products through your paid subs rather than just sending an extra post, which is what I did before, and charging for it. Even if it was my better posts, it's just information. And people don't buy information; they buy transformation and change, etc. So I've just made that shift really very recently.
Oh, I love that. Definitely. So anything tangible that you can put behind the paywall is working really, really well to sell paid subscriptions. And if you think about it, that's already a digital product. And I think people are kind of thinking about digital products in a different way, and which is not very successful. So I see some people are simply enabling access to their, I don't know, books or courses, one-time access to their already created digital products, and they just stand there, they don't promote them, and then they wonder why people are not becoming paid subscribers because of that. But that's not really working. If you can do something tangible, like a tiny thing that solves just one micro problem of your audience, and then keep it coming like you do every week, I really love that. It's a great strategy. Then this will definitely work for sure.
Yeah, Sheriff is asking for examples of the tools. He must be talking about what I've just said. So for me, the tools so last week I shared the 3P framework, which is a framework for writing your profile and your bio. So people can just take that and plug it in. The week before was the boomerang hook. So that's a hook you can use. Next week, what have I got? So the templates that outlines basically of something you can use to write or grow your audience or something like that. And the other question we've got here is about the launch of a product. Let me just check what the question is. Yeah. I mean, a launch, essentially, you've got the kind of warm up of maybe your free content, you're getting people anticipating it's coming, and then you would say it's available, and you'd have like an intense period, or this is how I would do it, maybe 7 to 10 emails over a couple of weeks where I would sell it, and then the launch would be over and I would stop pushing it, and I might just drip feed it through my newsletter or something like that. So it's quite a strategic kind of journey, which is why you can't do them all the time, because then you need to have like a break for you and for your readers as well.
Yeah. So I would also follow similar framework. I would start creating content about this product few weeks earlier. That would be including also notes, but not promoting anything, just delivering value connected to this product, so that you can warm up your audience in a way. And then when I launch, then it's usually followed with some kind of an email sequence. And as best practice, if you are saying something like, this product is available for the next, I don't know, 5-7 days, and then it disappears, then when these 7 days are over, then really make it disappear. Otherwise otherwise people are losing trust. So if you keep it available, even at a higher price, I mean, it's always better to keep your promises about that, because many people doing this, unfortunately. But if you tend to increase the price, simply say, so this product will be this is launch price, and the price would increase after that, and so on.
Yes. Yeah, totally. And so my next product, someone's asking what the product is I'm launching. So I'm launching a live cohort next month. So that's like 6 sessions.
Let's talk about this. That's a good question.
How to create your first, how to create your first product, but it's a live cohort. So I'm going to live teach people and then give them supporting resources, etc. But because that's a live cohort, then actually it's got urgency built in, because if you don't buy it before the cohort starts, then you have missed it because we've already started. So like you were saying there, Yana, it does have that built in, which kind of helps to sell it, I think, when people have got a reason to buy it, But what I'm doing differently this time is, normally I just launch it through email, but I'm pretty nervous about it. But I've decided to launch mine through a live masterclass, and a live teaching, and which I thought was a good idea at the time. And then it's like, what I saw today, there's like about 320 people signed up, and I was like, oh, it's not just me and 2 people in a room, that's a bit nerve-wracking. But I think that, like, you've just got to do stuff, haven't you, and take risks, and just, even if you fail, then you kind of learn something from it for next time. You don't learn anything by not taking risks. So I think that's what I'm telling myself anyway at this moment, that you've got to like be brave and stuff. So that's something new, which I've just stolen that idea from other people. So I think that's what you see, what other people are doing, and think, could that work for me? And those that are successful then just take their approach or ideas, and don't copy them rote, but you can be inspired by the approaches. And because people are practicing in public, it's all around, isn't it? The ideas and the thought. And you were giving tools away well before me to your paid subs, so I was looking at who's been successful with paid subs, and you see what they're doing, and you're like, maybe I need to be doing tools as well. And so look at what other people are doing and learn from it. I think that's really important.
I think that's the best way to learn, not to listen to what people say, but actually see what they do. And then, especially if they're successful, and look at the successful examples, not just what other people do, but what successful other people do, and how they do it. And it's visible basically from their content. If you become their subscriber, it becomes very clear to me what their strategy is. It's almost immediately. So
you need to be careful who you're following, because you can just put into ChatGPT and get an article about how to do something, and then you post it on Substack or something, so you need to make sure that people have got the results and they are really doing it. And if you follow them long enough, people will share stories and screenshots, and there'll be proper testimonials, and you'll see other people comment on the post, and so then you can get the credibility. And once you find someone, then you just follow that person and learn what you can. That's like how I've grown, really.
Yeah, exactly, definitely. All right. Okay. I also wanted to ask you, can you share some challenges and also some best practices with with selling digital products? You have a lot of experience. I'm sure people want to hear that.
That was two questions. What was the first one? What are the challenges?
The challenges, yes, and then we can go to the best practices, yes.
I think the challenges can be like when there's a lot of work when you're doing something for the first time. So if you're creating a video course and you're like, right, where do I put the videos and how do I upload them? Or if, like me, doing the webinar and you're thinking, right, how do you craft a webinar? And I think whenever you're doing, or how do you do automations in Kit? I think if you're not experienced, there's a bit of a vertical curve for that. And you can get lots of things wrong, and that can take time. But the thing to remember is you probably won't just create one digital product. So you have that kind of vertical learning experience. But once you've done it once, it gets much easier in future times and future occasions. So I think that's kind of one of the big barriers and obstacles, really. But if you just give time to it, and if you follow the same strategy next time. And I think the other challenge is I just knew nothing about selling or marketing or anything like that.
That's a big one, yeah.
Just like nothing. So I would just bought the best books, really, and I asked people, what's the best marketing books, what's the best thing, and just read all I could on it, and spent quite a lot of time reading from the best people, really, and adopting their strategies for myself and picking what worked and what didn't. And there were some awful titles of books, but people told me, why are all the marketing books got terrible titles, but people said, actually, just get past the title and there'll be lots of useful advice in there. So
I think the best teacher is experience. So because anything you read might be a great thing to read and might be a great learning experience, but it's very rare that you could replicate and apply everything to your own newsletter and digital product. Usually you have to adapt, and usually you come to a moment where you have to be creative and think of something on your own. And that's actually experience, and that's the most valuable lessons that you could have, I would say. But as a challenges, while I was listening to you, I remember that when I was recording my first course, it was from my Substack Quest. So it was in the beginning, some of the first lessons. So I was speaking for about an hour or something like that to my screen. And then when I finished, I realized that I didn't record it. And I was like, okay. So I had a very good rehearsal, actually. So now I had to do it again. And I wasn't using any script, so I didn't even have anything, any record of what I was speaking through that hour. It was really awesome.
I bet you thought that was really good as well. Do you know what I mean? You think I nailed that one. I was really, but nobody's got the record of it. It's disappeared.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, some best practices can you share from your experience up to now?
I think best practices is you want to teach people a transformation, not information. So people don't want to buy just a download of stuff. You want to take them on a journey from A to B, whatever that might be, and only give them the information they need in order to do that. That sometimes we feel it's more valuable to give more information and download you with everything, so it's valuable. But the value is in like stripping everything away and just giving me what we need, even though it might be less, that's actually more valuable because you've put in the work of like stripping it away. And I think having the confidence that by giving people less, but giving them what they need to make that journey is what would really help. And test that out in your free content first, so you validate it and you're testing and you're experimenting. Don't put the effort of a digital product if you've not had any contact with your audience or readers or checked anything out. If you've got, you never know for sure till you've launched it if it will sell. But if you've got like, I've just come up with an idea and I've got like literally no idea if anybody wants this, don't put the effort in. Put some free stuff out and see how that goes first. I think that's like, you need to have a bit of confidence that people really want this and that you've tested it and it works. That's probably what I would advise.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. So, of course, make sure, I would say the same, make sure that you validate the idea before you put too much effort into this. And with the newsletter, you can always very easily validate whatever you have interest in your product or not. And as another best practice, I would say, actually, I have two to share. One is to master the landing page. I think a lot of people are missing big time on that one. And so if you look in the internet, for example, there are certain templates that you want to have with certain elements that you would have to have there. But for sure, you want to address this painful problem. It's basically copywriting. So you could use any of the copywriting formulas. There are many of them also available online, but as a best practice that works really, really well is to present the problem and then even exaggerate the pain a little bit and then present the solution and why the solution is different and why should people take it from you and not from anybody else, and make sure that you know what makes you unique. It's something that people really not. I see that they sometimes miss that. The other thing that I would share as a best practice is really working very well for Gumroad as a platform. For the other platforms, I haven't really tested it. I just wanted to check my current conversion rate on Gumroad, and I'm gonna write an article about it because it's really amazing. And that is to use freebies, for example, free products. And with Gumroad, people are it's 15% conversion rate on my Gumroad is really great. So out of all of the traffic that I'm getting to my Gumroad shop, I have 15% of them of people are actually converting, buying something or downloading something free. And then if you use this, if you have freebies, then more people would download it just because it's free. They don't have anything to lose. But then with Gumroad, you could then have very easily set up a very small upsell. And then some people would buy this upsell as well. And now you're actually making money out of it. It's really, really easy. It's a very good workflow. And you could do this also with emails and with email sequences, or you could also set it up with Kit, because Kit also has this functionality. So you could upload your freebie on Kit, and then when somebody downloads it, you can also add an upsell after that. And well, with Teachable as well, but Teachable, because of the price, I would use Teachable for more like mid-tier products, a bit more expensive, because to justify the monthly price. Which they just recently increased, by the way. But anyway.
Okay. Well, yeah. You see, if you'd bought Thrivecart, there's no costs after you've bought it, Yana, and they can't put it off.
Yeah, I'm going to consider it. Really. I will have to consider it for sure.
I mean, when I first discovered bumps and upsells and all that, I had no experience. So you're reading all the books and talking about that, and I was just like, oh my word, this is like so useful and so clever, you know what I mean, of way of just whatever if it's free, then you make an extra money, or even if you've got a product and you're adding extra bonuses on that you charge for, you can really make a lot more money just by adding that on, and that's like, a great feature that I discovered. That would definitely be a top tip. Always add a bump or an upsell. as a way to just easily make more money. Really, it's just money waiting, because the truth is, there's people who buy your stuff or get your freebies. They want to pay you more money for more things because they believe in you. Do you know what I mean? And they're like, if you just offer me some more stuff that's going to help me, then I'll give you money. And you've got people in your audience, we all have, who want to give you more money. So if you offer bumps and upsells and additional products, then they will pay them for you. So that's incredible insight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. And also I would add to not only that's valid not only for freebies but also for paid products. You always have to have something else, something to lead your customer to buy more from you, and not just leave them so they buy one thing, and then most people leave those people alone and don't have anything else. So that's why you have to have a content strategy for your digital products as well, so that you are able to have a first sale, like for example freebie, and then a next sale like a low ticket, and then a next sale maybe a higher ticket, or a different type of product or a service or something else, and everything has to be connected so that you're able to lead people to the next purchase.
Yeah. That's but I think if there's people watching this who haven't created anything, my advice is just create your first thing. Make it quite easy, quite low, free, or quite cheap, and just get the experience of trying it out. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't work, because you will learn so much about how to craft and how to think, how to use the software, how to send sales emails. And I think you said you learn from experience, and that will teach you so much. And it doesn't. I mean, my first product made nothing. It was a complete failure. After 7 months, I thought, I'll have a go at this. Does it work? And I didn't have a clue about anything. Do you know what I mean? But you learn some things from it that's actually really valuable. So I think don't overthink it. Just have a go, put something together, and you'll either surprise yourself by making money, or you'll learn a ton for your next one. But just don't sit there and do nothing. You're missing out on so much, aren't you?
Exactly. I love that. Even if it's free, just create it and put it out there, and then learn from the experience. That's an awesome advice. Well, Derek, we are already 50 minutes, almost an hour. As something like maybe to close our session, I want to ask you about your launch. What are you doing? When is your event, and what are you going to share with people?
Yeah. So on June the 11th, there's a free masterclass where I'm going to share the 3 secrets that I've come across to create your first digital product. So it's really for people who think they can't do it or wonder if they can do it, and I'm going to just share some of my own experiences and give people some simple nuggets that really help them go forward. And that's just a free masterclass. People can just sign up. You'll probably send them a link when you're with this, and people can just come along, and there'll be a replay, so people can't make the time. If you sign up, then you'll get sent the replay, and just share what's worked for me, and hopefully that'll help. I mean, honestly, if I can do this, anyone can.
So if you are interested in digital products, so anyone who's watching us, make sure that you make it to Derek's workshop. I'll be there for sure. And I'll share the link when I publish the recording of this video. That would be shortly after we close the session today. I'm sure that we're gonna learn a lot from your experience already, because you're doing amazing stuff already. And also, guys, if you're interested about how to make money online the way that Derek does, because he does an amazing job, and also can teach you a lot about how to write and really gain traction and engagement, make sure that you subscribe to his publication, because it's amazing. And anything else to add, Derek?
No, that they should become a paid subscriber of yours and get those ChatGPT prompts, that I use all the time on notes. They're just there's a lot of rubbish out there, but yours are really good. So I highly recommend them as well.
Thank you so much. Just for the record, I didn't ask Derek to say that. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, this GPT for the notes is really powerful, and it helps me write notes that get a lot of traction, and not only me, for a lot of people who have access, like Derek. Of course, it's an amazing tool. Well, thank you so much, Derek, for this amazing session. I'm sure.
Good to meet you and good to chat.
Yeah, thank you so much. And looking forward to your workshop. I'll be there for sure.
All right, brilliant. Thanks.
Yes. See you
Hopefully, see
there.
other people as well. Thanks.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye bye. Bye.